Brazil. Oh man, I said right when we started all this that I look out for the Brazil fixtures. I want to see Brazil go back to the team they used to be, and yeah, they didn't.
It was remarkable, wasn't it? And Cape Verde, you know, what a performance! And they didn't just sit back and get a 2-2. They fought, they attacked them. They looked equally as good as Argentina. He should be playing tennis or a single sport where we can just focus on himself. This is just another reason why I love Messi. Messi, you never see Messi complaining. He just gets up, gets on with it. When they went 2-0 down, he's not blaming other players.
Hello and welcome to Random Fandom's World Cup Diary number 5. I'm Rob, and sitting over there hoping his liver recovers is John, because he may be the reason why we haven't recorded for a while because of all his drinking shenanigans. How you doing, John?
Not so bad. I got my recovery water here.
So you've had some friends over from the UK, and it's fair to say you have been traveling around various cities in the US of A, partaking in a few beverages.
We have indeed. We've followed where we thought England would be going. So we've covered New York, New Jersey. We've covered Boston. We've covered Philadelphia, and Steve is off into Chicago now, but will join me for the Norway game in New York on Saturday.
Nice. So we'll go into this as we do kind of what we'll do is a roundup of kind of the knockout phase up till now and then preview the quarterfinals. But we'll probably pay some attention to the evening that we all went out to watch one of the games, and I drank more than I've drunk for a while. So so yeah, where we are right now is quarterfinals are due to kick off tomorrow. We're on the Wednesday void, where for the first time in 1,000 years there have been no football games. So we thought probably should record today. You know, John's sobered up a little bit. We've got a dead day. Let's record. So if we just cast our eye back, if we look like the last 32 and kind of look at some of the shocks. We kind of break them down into the pieces that feed into the semis. The first round of games we saw Canada beat South Africa, not really that big a shock. France beat Sweden, not really that big a shock. But then we saw Netherlands and Germany go out. I didn't have that on my bingo card, John.
No, it's not the greatest Germany side we've seen, but yeah, I thought they would get through as well. The Netherlands actually did look good, but
Yeah.
unfortunately they were both taken out by penalties.
Penalties, yeah, and I'll come back, put a pin in penalties. I'll come back later in Rob's rubbish for a little view on penalties. So that then, if we kind of finish that little part out, then that then culminated in Canada. Oh dear, and there's going to be a bit of a running theme here, but for the first host up through to the next knockout round, it was Canada, and they didn't really cover themselves in glory, as we all basically said. Sorry, Canada. 3-0, Morocco pounded them, never really gave the home fans anything to cheer on, and they just sort of limped out of the World Cup, which is unfortunate, but you know what? At least they got through a knockout game and didn't go home at the first opportunity. And on the
Yeah,
other side, we saw France really edge. I mean, Paraguay, after initial battering by the US 4-1, they've come back, they've taken Germany to extra time and penalties, and they've just gone out 1-0. And it was, am I right? Was that just a penalty? Was that Mbappe a
yep,
penalty in that game?
yep.
I,
They employed all of their dirty tactics and winding the French up, but unfortunately it wasn't quite enough, was it?
I we'll probably talk about it in the England Mexico game, but I always love it that if you're on the receiving end of it, it's oh my god, ref, come on, you got to get us under control. If like England do it or your club team do it in Europe, it will be lauded by the commentators of oh, they are deploying all of the dark arts today. But
Very enjoyable to watch. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
If it's not
Um,
your team.
I did like the beef between Mbappe and the keeper as well, where when it's,
Mbappe, very cheeky when he scored. He scored his
oh,
penalty, pointing at him,
I
laughing.
know, yeah. And then kind of the next round of games as we kind of look at this, we had Belgium seeing off Senegal, which was closer than I thought it was going to be. We had Spain smashing Austria, and then the two to kind of get your thoughts on. It's like Portugal. I thought Croatia were going to win that. I've got to be honest. I thought Croatia at one point um, absolutely all over Portugal, and it was probably a brave decision from Martinez to actually take Ronaldo off that swung the tide back their way. I don't know if do you watch that one or were you like 10 beers
Yep.
in by this point?
we were only, we were beers in, sure, but we were in the golf club, and yeah, it was a very entertaining game,
Yeah,
and another classic. This World Cup is so memorable, so many great games. I have to say though, the Belgium Senegal, Belgium were 5 minutes from going out,
yeah.
2 nil to a decent Senegal team, and you know they had a dreadful tournament, and then that with 5 minutes to go, they woke up, and they have been fantastic ever since. So,
Well,
so
yeah, that's a good. I mean,
that really was a moment.
you know, you're absolutely right. And then that then culminated in because USA sort of saw off Bosnia fairly easily, to be honest. But and we'll come back to this later. That game saw them go down to 10 men. So put a pin in
Hmm.
that one. Um, and then they went out to Belgium, which again I think we'll cover a bit more later. I want your thoughts on Portugal, Spain. That was a I thought it was a really good nil-nil, obviously up until the moment that it wasn't, but it wasn't like a
Hmm.
drab nil-nil. That was a really good. I couldn't call it. Both teams had chances they should have scored from, and then it's probably arguably the world's greatest midfielder, Marino, steps up and puts the winner in.
Sure, Rob. Sure. The it was a tense it was a tense affair. I think they both gave respect to the other teams. Portugal's team on paper is a World Cup winning team.
Yeah,
They are just absolutely phenomenal on paper. Unfortunately for them, they have to play on a grass pitch rather than a sheet of paper. But Spain probably less controversial. Is probably less talented individuals, but they're a much better team.
yeah,
So I think Spain deserved it in the end, just marginally. I think they're the better team, and yeah, I'm really excited to see them later on in the tournament.
yeah, yeah. No, agree. And the next sort of little segment we had Brazil. Oh man, I said right when we started all this that I look out for the Brazil fixtures. I want to see Brazil go back to the team they used to be, and yeah, they didn't. They just about limped. I would say they limped past Japan. I actually thought Japan were the better team for chunks of
Mm.
that game, but you know Brazil managed to get through. Norway joined them by beating the Ivory Coast. We then had Mexico easily seeing off Ecuador at this point, still yet to concede a goal in the tournament.
Hmm.
And England absolutely smashed DR Congo 2-1. Oh my gosh. I thought it was one of those days. I've seen Arsenal do this where we go a goal down and then we could be there all day and we wouldn't score a goal. And their
Yeah,
keeper's doing heroics. You're just missing final balls. I thought this was one of those days at the office and I was getting ready to put my phone on silent uh, because I thought we were going out.
yeah.
I honestly did.
I was really trying to hold on to belief. It it was. Oh, it felt like Iceland all over again for
Yes.
about 70 minutes, didn't it?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
did.
it was painful.
And then when we equalised, I really didn't expect to see the winner come before extra time. I'd then kind of gone, okay, we've played our get out of jail free card. Let's see if we can get something in injury in extra time. But these guys will probably drop even deeper. This has got penalties written all over it. And before I could even stop that thought, the winner's gone in. I'm like, oh, God bless Harry Kane.
What a fantastic goal. Unbelievable. Incredible finish to get that amount of power as he's turning. So difficult.
I will just want to say one little thing about the English commentary is that Harry Kane is without doubt one of the best finishers around at the moment. But this whole Harry Kane carried England on his back to victory. We kind of discussed this down the pub a little bit, which is that it's not true of Harry Kane because he's not the sort of player that picks the ball up on the halfway line, skins five people, and then
Mm,
scores a worldy solo goal. He finishes off chances that other people make
mm.
for him. So to say that he did it by himself, a little bit disingenuous, but I get the sentiment. Where would we be without Harry Kane, right? So,
Yeah, it's
but
lazy journalism for sure.
yeah.
It's a good team we have.
But then we obviously got the Mexico game. I know we're going to dive deeper into that in John's Gems without any, spoilers alert for John's Gems. So let's just round out where we were for the rest of the knockouts. Switzerland saw off Algeria 2-0. Colombia overcame Ghana 1-0. Egypt beat Australia on penalties. Cape Verde. Oh my word, Argentina, Cape Verde. We were all down the pub for this. I met Steve and the other guys. It was Ben, his son, and I'm rubbish with names. The Arsenal fan that I
Kevin.
should remember. That Kevin. Come on, get in, Kevin. Sorry, Kevin. Um, Sat down, started to enjoy a couple of beers. We had a little area that it was like the surface of the sun outdoors. So they'd closed the outdoor bar at the Wooden Tap that we were at, and John had played a blinder and got us almost like our little private booth with a big screen TV just for us. I'm not quite sure how you managed that one, but well done. And it's fair to say the beers started flowing while we watched that game. But
Mm.
what a game! What an
What a game!
absolute brilliant
Unbelievable.
game! I went into that worrying that Cape Verde were gonna have to claim moral victory, that they would get spanked 5-0, but they would leave with their heads held high because at least they got this far. Ah, I was gutted when it didn't go to penalties. I
Yeah,
thought they deserved it. It was absolutely brilliant. Like,
yeah. It was remarkable, wasn't it? And Cape Verde, you know, what a performance! And they didn't just sit back and get a 2-2. They fought, they attacked them. They looked equally as good as Argentina. Um, but what a game! Incredible game to watch. Just another classic from this World Cup.
yeah, yeah, agree. That then took us through yesterday. We had Switzerland beat Colombia on penalties. Not the greatest game in the world. That one maybe was a little bit of a two teams that didn't want to lose it by being too risky in 90 minutes and extra time. So we ultimately came down to pens. And then we had Argentina, Egypt yesterday, which if Belgium decided to leave it late, I don't think Argentina left it later. In fact, they probably didn't. They started their comeback earlier, but it was another team that's 2-0 up, maybe doesn't quite know how to close a game out, and goes on to lose 3-2. It's I know we're going to come back to it later, John, but and we'll get into it. We will. We'll get into it in John's Gems, but I think put all the noise to one side. If you're a team at the World Cup and you're 2-0 up with that little time left,
12 minutes left. 12
it's
minutes
kind
left.
of on you, no matter how much you want to look for other external forces. At the end of the day, you still let the ball go into your net three times. And, uh, Ghana and, Senegal and Egypt are going to be looking back at those games. And yeah, there'll be all these, yeah, but what about this? What about the other? But at the end of the day, it's football facts. You let in three goals. Uh,
Well, none. To be fair to Egypt, they didn't have Dan Burn at the back.
did you see the Did you see the headed clearance that went to the halfway line? It
Yes.
was. Let's get on to that because we've been holding back on a few things because we wanted to get more into it in John's Gems. So we need to fire up cheer for the Gems. Okay, over to you. What makes your podium, or have you got any honourable shout outs first?
Yeah, well, 96 games have gone already, and there are only 7 left, or 8 if you're really interested in third and fourth playoff, which I don't think anyone is,
I was
including
going to
the
say,
players that have to play in it.
I don't even watch it. It's a pointless game for
No,
me.
yeah,
It's
and
it's
no
in,
one wants to be there.
no player wants to be there to just
Yeah.
try to work out how least of a loser you are. You both lost. You should be on the plane home. And I was saying
Yeah.
to my wife, I said, "Oh, I think it's a bit of a money grab by FIFA that they just want to get an extra TV game." And
Mm.
she was like, "Yeah, I don't remember it growing up." I was like, "Yeah, I don't either." So I googled it. Yeah, it's been around since something like 1934, but maybe just they never put it on TV before.
Yeah, it's a painful game. But in third place, um, we mentioned it briefly, but the penalty shootout drama has been unbelievable. I don't think I've seen more exciting penalty shootouts than we saw in that one day. Paraguay versus Germany and Netherlands versus Morocco. It was just, I mean, it is the biggest argument to keep penalties in, keep extra time and keep penalties in because they've just been phenomenal.
Paraguay Germany was the one that Germany were out, and there were two opportunities for Paraguay to seal it, and then they managed
Yeah,
to miss one, get one
miss
saved. Was it, or did they miss both?
they missed both to bring
Miss
it
both,
back to
and
sudden
then
death.
brought it back to sudden death, and then Germany went and it was a defender, wasn't it? Same way that Gabriel skied it in the Champions League, didn't the German? Was it Tar?
Yeah,
Pah? Tar? He just sent his into orbit, and you just. I honestly thought that the moment Paraguay had missed their two opportunities to win it in the five, and we went to sudden death, I thought, well, this is it. This is typical Germany. Like Germany are machines in the penalty shootout, and the one year they're not, they won't get punished by it, and they're going to see off Paraguay. But no, yeah,
yeah.
done.
And we were watching it in Boston. We're outside in the square, sun shining down. We were drinking in the square with lots of German fans. No, couple of Paraguay fans. There were some Netherlands fans and some Morocco fans, but a lot of German fans, shall we say? And when 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 Paraguay won, let's just say that I was sitting there in my England T-shirt, and there was a lot of joy emanating from myself.
Yeah, and the Dutch. Clivert hit the same post as his dad had hit years before, right? It was
It was on exactly the same day. I think it was 30 years before. It was like echoes of history.
it's crazy, crazy. You can get coincidences like that. So yeah, no
Mm.
penalty shootouts. That's your number three step on the John's
Yeah.
Gems podiums. What's in at number two?
Well, also, by the way, we were looking around at the bunting around that they had in that square,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and you could see flags of all nominations, all countries. There were no England flags, and we asked the Irish waitress, why, and she had this smile on her face, and she said, "Well, the Scottish have been here. They cut them all down."
Oh, brilliant, brilliant. Oh
Um,
man.
so in second place, we have England's heroics in
I
Mexico.
thought this was going to be number one, but come on, let's wallow in it for a bit.
Well,
This is
it really should have been number one, but not well. You'll find out why later on. But the altitude or altitude as it's being called, the rain delay, the sending offs, penalties, 5 goals, world class saves, wonder wall defending, players getting injured and booked without even playing. It was just remarkable,
yeah.
and yeah, it was just an incredible occasion. One of the reasons why this was such a big game was England have had terrible history with the Azteca Stadium. In 1986, we were beaten by Maradona. Obviously, that was Argentina, not Mexico. But the Azteca Stadium is just a frightening place to go. Mexico have had 70 wins, 17 draws, and only 2 defeats in 89 competitive matches since 1966. It is a very, very hard place to go and get a result. So,
Yeah, I mean, when the fans were booing every single time England got the ball, I was going through roller coaster of emotions. That, oh my God, we're going to get battered here. They were all over us, and then all of a sudden we had that 2 minutes of just amazingness where we got both goals, and it was like, oh my God, this is it. It's done. 2-0 up. Just relax, boys. Coast into half time, and then this is all done. But this is England, so no.
yes.
We have to go and not clear. Oh, the one moment we didn't defend in the entire game well, we go and make a hash of clear in a corner, and boom, it's 2-1. And then I honestly thought we were going in at halftime 2-2. We were so up against
Mm.
it. We hung on by our fingernails to get into halftime in the lead. That was just nuts.
It
And
was.
then and then the sending off in real time, I didn't really think much of it and saw the bench clearing out
Mhm.
and kind of shouting like, "Okay, whatever, calm down." And then they showed the replay, and you're like, "Oh God, this is red. This is just red in every." Even if you make all these arguments for, well, as he landed, his thigh landed on the ball, which then bounced his leg higher into the air. And then that's what made him go studs up onto the guy's shin. I'm like, it still studs up onto the guy's shin.
We,
This is
we
going no way but red.
yeah, I've seen an almost identical challenge in the Premier League where he was sent off. Um, I mean, you just only he knows why he didn't just go straight through the ball. Maybe it was just a misjudgment.
Mistimed it. Yeah, I don't
It was
know.
harsh, but there you go. It was, it was another thing going against England,
Yeah.
um, and then they decided, Tournament Tommy, in his ultimate wisdom, decided that well, it was after the penalty, really,
I was going
wasn't
to
it?
say first we
Yeah,
got Barcelona's Gordon
yeah,
sprinting through and being taken down. I was, and then I go through the emotions of, oh, they're going to review it. They're going to say there's no contact. He's dived. No, no, it's definitely a penalty. Okay, well, Kane's going to miss it. And then suddenly it's 3-1, and you're like, this is it. We've done it,
yeah,
and now we can dig in with 10 men, and 3-1 is easily defendable until Kane decides to reverse his penalty heroics and give one away himself, which
yeah,
we got the one from Modric in the Croatia game.
yeah,
So as much as I don't think these penalties should get given for kicking the underside of somebody's foot when you're both swinging your foot at the same time, like
yeah.
I come from the school of thought that it should be a foul, as in you've fouled your player because you couldn't win the ball. Not two of you swing
Exactly.
legs at the same time and one of you happens to make contact with the ball first. It's not a penalty.
Well,
But
if you're talking about just touching that person is making contact, then it's a penalty.
yeah,
Well, we'll talk about that a little later with Egypt
but
because
yeah, but
because it
you know,
goes into
but
that. But I agree. I agree. These shouldn't be given. But there you go. Those are the rules. So it was given. It
And then
went
I
3-2.
text to our group chat, I think that basically when Dan Burn came on and said, "Oh my God, this guy is not an international footballer," and then proceeded to eat humble pie for 21 minutes as he went into a one-man heading machine game where. Quick
And
question for you. Is
yeah,
this where Mexico messed up? Because in the first half and in that last bit of stoppage time or going up to half time, they were pulling us apart. They were finding runs in the channels. We couldn't stay with the runners when we got down to 10 men and we had 20 minutes to defend for our lives, all they did was hoik the ball into the box where our best weapon was our centre backs and their heading ability. I mean, they just seemed to
yeah,
play into our hands. Not that I'm complaining.
yeah. I don't know whether it was the occasion, whether the stadium is so loud they couldn't hear what the coach was trying to instructions they were trying to give him, but they really did. And Thomas Tuchel, you got to take your hats off to you know, his superior tactics. He knew what was going to be happening. He knew that the only thing that they were doing was just hoisting balls into the box. So he stuck on John Stones, who's 6'2". Then he put Dan Burn, who's 6'7", I believe.
7 foot
Um,
10, I think.
and yeah, he was screaming at Spence, like, do not get that cross in. So they were trying to block crosses, and what he did, he had a back five. So he shifted whoever was the side the ball was on, he would shift that wide player out to them to stop the cross coming in, and you'd still have four defenders in the box
Yeah.
heading it out who have extreme height advantages on their players. So we were like, fantastic, keep doing it. We'll defend. We've taken lessons off Ghana. We know we know how to defend at the back, and it was an inspired performance by
It
England.
was. It
Yeah.
was. So if that's not number one, then, John, what is?
Well, it's hard to not have an England great performance at number one, but you have to say the Argentinian involvement in two of the best games of the tournament. I mean, arguably you could say England would be in that, but the game against Cape Verde was just absolutely sensational. For me, no matter what happens, Cape Verde are going to be the team of the tournament. You had Sydney Lopez Cabral's curler
Oh, what a
and
goal.
Pat Cash style climb into the crowd to find his girlfriend. absolutely sensational. But you also had the Egypt game after that, featuring Egypt's the greatest goal that never was. So the greatest goal I think that's scored. Um, you got Hassan with a Messi-esque dribble, including a nutmeg, passed on to Salah, whose beautifully timed pass led to a wonderful finish by Mustafa Zico, culminating in a quite incredible goal. And then it was pulled back from for a foul that wasn't given in real
That,
time.
yeah, that's why VAR gets involved to see. I mean,
I just think it's do we want VAR getting involved, chalking off goals that far
I
back
think
for
they
fouls that
need
were
to.
missed?
I think they need to decide how far. We were chatting before we hit record, and I think it was South Africa, Nigeria, and the African Cup of Nations had a goal similar that was disallowed where the foul had taken place 15 seconds before the goal. Here it was timed at around 10 before the goal. But like, and Arsenal had one chalked off against Man United last season before, where Odegaard was judged to have taken somebody out about 8, 9, 10 seconds before I think Martinelli ends up scoring. It's like, okay, how far back are you going to go to see? Is it right from the moment you win the ball back and everything has to be clean, or is it only? I hate this phase of play because no one really can define what that means.
Uh-huh. I
So I
just think
mean,
if I just think if you're going to go that far back, I implore VAR to go back to 1986 when Maradona's handball, cost England.
well, you say cost England. I mean, saying here's the little nuance, right? This goal being ruled out stopped Egypt going 2-0 up. And it was 6 minutes later, they went 2-0 up. So, because of cause and effect, you can never say if they'd have gone 2-0 up then, would Argentina have got one back straight away? Or would they have gone on to go 3-0 up? The two things
You
don't
just
follow,
never know.
right? You
Yeah.
just never know. But what we do know is that irrespective of having one ruled out, they went 2-0 up. And then they managed to throw it away with 12 minutes left. And people will say about decisions, and as we were saying, there's a video going around at the moment of here's a minute of all the clips that crimes against Egypt. But then somebody else has responded going, yeah, but here's a minute of crimes against Argentina where fouls didn't get given on Argentinian players, and the Egyptian player wasn't booked for taking his shirt off when he scored. So really, if you put all those two things together, you can just say the ref had a bit of a mare. I do sometimes think, and I don't think it's corruption in getting, say, Messi, or people want Messi to go through to the next round. I do think refs can buckle under pressure. That whole Fergie time thing, you think back in the day, I doubt any brown paper bag swapped hands, but just Fergie barking at a referee, tapping his
I
watch. How much longer? How
yeah.
much longer? I think refs have a difficult job, and do some of them buckle sometimes? Yeah, maybe they do.
No, I agree with that. Completely understand. However, if you're going to bring it back for a foul there, you have to look at the Salah was fouled, and we talk about the Harry Kane one that he committed because he just touched this guy's foot. Salah's foot was touched. There's no question about it.
He'd
So
lost the ball on the first challenge, so it gets one of
yeah,
those that it's
yeah, but
like
then he wins it back again, and his
he
foot
doesn't
was.
he doesn't make contact with it. The other guy makes contact with Salah, so it's like, look, I'm totally with
I
you.
think that
It,
I
I,
think
I,
that's a ridiculous
I'm
penalty.
I'm putting that under the category of we've seen them given. As in,
Yeah.
if your
Okay.
team
Yeah.
gets that, you take the penalty. If that's
Hmm.
against Liverpool, if that is Haaland going past someone and Liverpool concede a penalty, you're livid because you say, well, he won
Well,
the
it's
tackle first. What's the second
it,
contact got to do with it? So I just think the ref had a bit of a mare.
all right.
But
We'll
and then
we'll
the
leave it
second
there.
thing here, and this is the interesting debate, is I've loved this tournament because of how high the bar is for VAR to get involved. So we haven't
Mm.
had 6 minutes of stoppage while we forensically examine every single breath the referee took, which we love because it keeps the flow of the game. We haven't seen any VAR stoppages really. The downside of that is we can all go back to being down the pub and moaning about a referee's performance now because the referee's got nowhere to hide anymore. Because unless he's really dropped a bollock, they're not going back and completely overruling it. So kind of got to be careful what you wish for. I'd rather have it like this, and the game I love is back with the flow, than seeing every single thing stop for 6 minutes to be surgically analysed from 6,000 angles.
Mm.
You're not
Yeah.
convinced, are you? I know. But we'll get on to where I do think the real issues are as we go into Rob's rubbish. Okay, third on the turd is Ronaldo with a little sprinkling of Martinez as well. Right, Ronaldo, brilliant athlete, amazing footballer. Can't deny that he's always in the discussions of greatest of all time with Messi, those two going head to head. But I don't like his attitude when things aren't going his way. So that interview that he gave when he went out and he turned it all into about things he's won and why, in
Mm.
his view, the Euros that they won is just as big as any World Cup. Like sort of like I'm taking my ball and going home. I don't. I wanted to see magnanimous in defeat from him. That I've had a brilliant career. It's unfortunate my final World Cup has ended this way, but not the Ronaldo show of. It just didn't sit well with me. I don't know what you
Yeah,
thought.
no, he should be playing tennis or a single sport where we can just focus on himself. This it's just another reason why I love Messi. Messi, you never see Messi complaining. He just gets up, gets on with it. When
Yeah,
when they went 2-0 down, he's not blaming other players. He's just shaking his head. He gets on with it, and
and
then they both cried tears, didn't they? They
they
both
did.
cried tears.
They did.
Um, yeah.
My little sprinkling there, my little mime, a little
Oh, go on.
sprinkling of Martinez is that if I give him credit for turning the tide against Croatia for taking Ronaldo off and bringing a more mobile midfielder in, and then they beat Croatia, this game was crying out for you're not going to get anything keeping Ronaldo on the pitch. You're essentially playing with 10 men and you're going to let Spain win this. And he didn't have the balls to make the same decision against Spain that he did in Croatia. So I'm lumping him
Yeah,
in there on that step of the turd as well.
I think you're right
Uh,
to do that.
second on the third step is stutter penalties. Please stop doing them. There's only a couple of players that really can pull it off well, and the rest of you just look like idiots when you sort
Yeah.
of do river dance on the spot and then pass it to the keeper. It just why has this become a thing this year? I think I've seen more stutter penalties missed in this World Cup than I've ever seen, like
Yeah.
ever. Just stop doing them.
It's a,
Harry Kane
it's
got
a,
very lucky when he
yeah.
missed his stutter penalty and the dude had come off the line. His second penalty, he went old school and smashed it.
It's supposed to put the goalkeepers off, but I'm pretty sure it puts the striker off more.
I just think if you run up to the ball and smash it, you've got your body's momentum as well. You're much likely to hit it harder, and speed in a penalty matters. If you make good contact with a penalty, you get it on target. The keeper has got to guess and make a good save, and then okay, fine. Then you chalk it off to the keeper making a good. When you try to outfox the keeper, you just look like a muppet. It's like Panenkas that go wrong when the keeper catches it. But
Well,
number
I
one,
tell you
oh,
what, let's hope England don't get to penalties then, because Ivan Tony does a nice shuffle.
he's one that can do it though. Like he's got like
Yeah,
remember in the Premier League, he had some like 100% accuracy from penalties, and that was his.
yeah,
But he didn't do a stutter. He didn't. He do like a one stop and then kick. He doesn't do
yeah,
this
but he
little like
doesn't.
Eze does the little.
He never looks at the ball. He's always looking at the goalkeeper,
Yeah.
which again is a talent that he only possesses.
Okay, number one on the steaming turd pile this time is sorry, America. Some of it's you and some of it's not your fault. Well, actually, maybe a lot of it your fault, but it's US going out of the tournament without a whimper and also the Balogun farce. We can't not talk about it. So let's start with the Balogun farce. Right. I would say that the decision to send him off was wrong. I'll fully stand by that. In fast motion, that is two players coming together that get all tangled up with each other, and gravity dictates that somebody puts their foot somewhere, and that happens to be standing on someone's ankle. Does it look horrible when you freeze frame it when the ankle's bent over? Yeah, but never a red. Okay, fine. What followed after, and the farce that went around it, and then we won't get political here, but with various factions putting pressure on, phoning their mates at FIFA, and then magically getting the red card suspended through apparent reasons that were never shared. But don't worry, it's all fine because it wasn't me. We have a committee that look at these things. And by the way, they were already looking at it before anybody phoned me anyway. Yeah,
Nothing to
right.
see here.
Nothing to
Yeah,
see here. Um, and it just, you had UEFA coming out and making statements against FIFA. You had the Belgian FA coming out and saying, what the hell's going on? And actually, if anything, maybe it all came round and had the opposite effect because the US were not galvanized behind their star man being made available. Belgium were 100% going to say, well, fine, bring your best man to the team. We're going to smash you anyway. And it seemed to give them extra purpose because I knew the US weren't going to win the World Cup. or I felt they weren't. It would have been a Greece or a Denmark style Euros win for the, and we've seen it happen, so maybe it could happen, right? But I felt when they finally went out, I wanted to see them go down all guns blazing, of at least kind of go out head held high. And from the moment kickoff came, there was none of that intensity that we'd seen in the Paraguay game or even the Bosnia game. They just sort of accepted it as soon as even when
What?
they equalised. Yeah, go on, John. Sorry, I'm
What?
waffling.
Well, no, I agree with everything you're saying, but it's they look nervous. So the first 15 minutes, they looked all over the place, and that may be because it's um, they're not often in this advanced stage in the World Cup. Um, you could argue that a lot of the players aren't always in the Champions League, finals and things like that. So I think a little bit inexperienced. The occasion nerves got to them. I think that's why they were looking so bad first half. Plus, they're playing Belgium team who are just fantastic in midfield. So they were getting swamped in
Yeah,
midfield.
they were. They really were. They were getting pulled around all over the place in midfield, and it actually kind of almost looked. This is going to sound super harsh. I don't mean it to sound this harsh, but it did kind of look like men against boys in that midfield because you had the US like sprinting around trying to win the ball back, and Belgium were doing the good old phrase of "let the ball do the work." Which actually, and this is a little sidebar that was kind of funny, is that Alexi Lalas was trying to challenge Zlatan and Henri. Why can't US beat Belgium? We can outrun them. We're more athletic. We're probably faster. This is an aging side. And Henri at the beginning, if you caught it, said because there's levels. It's not all just about being athletic, and they kind of let it lie. And then
Yeah,
later, when they finally came back after the 4-1, Henri just smiled and looked at him and went, "Levels."
levels.
But
But
he's absolutely right. It isn't
he's
just
absolutely
about.
right.
There was a number of tweets online about kind of like, oh, if the US put all their prime athletes that weren't going into other sports and put them all at soccer, we would dominate. Like, it's not just about running fast.
Uh, but
We were
what?
talking about this down the pub. Like Usain Bolt had their famous loan spell at Man United or tried to get on their books. World's fastest man. Didn't make him the best footballer. You can't
Mm.
just put him on the wing and say, we'll chase it and you can do a 100-meter sprint every few minutes.
But the entire Balogun red card saga turned an inspiring story of America's possible ascent into soccer elite, right?
Yep.
Into one of villainy. So the rest of the world who had been supporting the host nation suddenly were all supporting Belgium,
Yep.
and wanting this overturned red card and make America accountable for, in their eyes, cheating.
Yeah. And then the problem
So
is, it had
I don't
no.
think it is. I was going to say Alexi Lads at the end of the game was saying, "Well, I'm fed up of moral victories," but you cannot claim that this was a moral victory for America.
No,
If in
no.
fact it was the total opposite.
But what I would say is there was no blame on Balogun, Pochettino, the US men's
No.
team. Like they didn't do anything. They didn't want to be in the middle of this big
Mm.
thing, and
Yeah.
actually maybe this disrupted the prep because they
Yeah.
didn't come out and rescind. Oh, sorry, it wasn't rescinded. Suspend the red card within like say 24 hours. There were like 3 days of prep that Pochettino would have been doing with the squad, thinking that he wasn't playing. And you can't just go, oh, Bala flows in now, so just whatever he was doing, you do it, and we're all good. It disrupts prep as well. So
Mm.
yeah,
Agreed.
okay, okay, that's enough of the turd. So let's start looking ahead at the quarterfinals, and therefore, what are we going to be jumping on board the hype train? There goes the hype train, and for me, I'm interested in your view here, John. But for me, the hype train just has two flags on it, and it's England and it's Norway. And yes, because we're both sat here wearing our England shirts, you'll think it's just because it's England. But let's remember who Random Fandom picked out on the very first episode of our World Cup Diaries, the other team that we were going to follow. It is a clashing of worlds as our Random Fandom pick Norway take on England, which means from a Random Fandom perspective, we are guaranteed to make the semi-finals. But I am so nervous for this one. I fear Norway more than Mexico just because of Haaland, because I just think he could make mincemeat of our defence. Thoughts?
Wow. Well, listen, he could. He could, but it was the same with Mexico. I predicted, and it's not like me to bring up and rub it in your face that I got my predictions spot on. But I predicted 3-2 because I knew that Mexico would score past our leaky defence. Every team we're going to face from now on is going to score 1 or 2 goals at minimum
Yep.
against England because we have a bad defence. But we do have the capability of scoring a hatful of goals too. So I predicted 3-2 to England against Mexico, and I predict that we're going to win against Norway 4-2 because I think Haaland will score two. We have to stop the balls coming into him, stop them at source, because once he gets the ball, you kind of fucked, aren't you?
You're going to
Really?
need teammate. You're going to need teammates across teammate insight. You're going to need Declan Rice to sit on Odegaard or have Anderson
Yes.
sit on Odegaard and stop that
Mhm.
central channel, which I
Yep.
think we could do. I worry
Mhm.
about our fullbacks stopping their wingers
Mhm.
because they've looked really, really good and pulled some good defenses apart so far,
Yep.
and we're a little bit suspect down the wing. So then once a ball comes in, I know we did the big rearguard action against Mexico, but having Raul Jimenez coming in to try and get on the end of a ball is different from having Haaland coming in. No disrespect, Raul Jimenez, but it is.
Yep.
So I'd like to think we're going to outscore them. I think it could be a high scoring game, which now guarantees it's 0-0 and goes to penalties, John. But
I would be shocked, absolutely shocked if it was 0-0.
yeah, so would I. That's this Saturday. Uh, yeah, there's all the other games as well, but from it's we'll if we get through, we'll be keeping an eye to see who gets through out of Argentina and Switzerland, which you've got to say is going to be Argentina. So we could get an England Argentina semi final if we get through.
Which, that, I mean, if that happened, my God,
Oh my gosh! And then Spain, Belgium.
that's
I
an
don't know which
exciting
way to
game.
go now. That's an exciting game. Belgium have seemed to be hitting their stride. They always say the best teams grow into a tournament. Italy were famous for being rubbish in the group stage and then
Mm.
kicking on in knockout. Belgium are just getting better each game. And the
Hmm.
one I'm really interested in as a neutral is France Morocco. France look unstoppable, but
You
Morocco have looked great as well.
you say neutral?
I am
Are you
neutral.
really?
Yeah.
Are you? I'd love to see Morocco go through.
I mean, I'd
And
like.
and
I
I love watching France. I think they're a phenomenal team. I just think that they are the best team, and therefore, as an England fan, I'd like to see them go out. But they are
True.
phenomenal to watch, and Mbappe is just levels above.
Levels.
Yeah,
Yeah, levels. And on that, on a final little thought before I round us out is because you mentioned Mbappe, is this has to be the greatest ever contest for the Golden Boot at a World Cup that I've ever lived through. It's
yeah.
insane. The numbers of
Just.
goals they've already got, and I know there's been an extra game, but I think there's only
Hmm.
one extra game they'll get.
Hmm.
Um, they're already ahead of what totals have won the Golden Boot in previous years. So
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
it's wow. They're
It's
all
truly incredible.
Ronaldo aside, all the big names have done everything they should be doing and probably more. And
Yeah.
maybe Haaland's even gone past expectations because of the team he's in. So for him to be staying up there with Messi and Mbappe and
He
wow.
scored. Do you know this? Haaland has scored in 14 consecutive games for Norway.
Didn't I see he scored out of 54 starts for Norway? He scored 62 goals
Yeah,
or something
yeah.
insane, which is
That
more. He's averaging 0.88 games a goal, which is insane.
it's just ludicrous, absolutely
Levels.
ludicrous stats. So we might have to sort of two-footed take him out before the game starts.
I know we might. Right. We're going to have to put a bow around that one. And I think we will probably get together again on the other side of the quarterfinals to either celebrate or commiserate and preview the semis. I think that's probably the next time we'll get back
Hmm.
together. So enjoy drinking in New York. And hopefully, we are
Thank you very
exchanging
much.
texts of celebration as
Yes.
we look at that game. So
Come on,
cool.
England.
Yes.
Oh,
Come on,
hang
England.
on, hang on, hang
Oh,
on. We need to perfect. We need a prediction on the pod from you for that game.
well, I was going to say 4-2 as well, but now that just sounds like I'm jumping on the bandwagon. So
It does. It
um,
does.
maybe we don't outscore that much. I'll say 3-2 to England. I'll shave a goal off.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
Okay. Let's
All
find
right.
out next time.